Hello humans, I'm Yoshiller and welcome back to some more of my Pokemon Scarlet and Violet walkthrough that I am recording on my Nintendo Switch 2 at 60 frames per second. In the previous part, I battled against a Granbull. Not this Granbull, who was actually wandering around me and not getting mad, huh? I can appreciate that. No, I fought the Granbull of the Blueberry Academy Elite Four member, Lacey, and I defeated her. And now in this part, I am not gonna take on the next Blueberry Academy Elite Four member. Rather, I'm gonna go ahead and showcase the primary reason why I'm recording this walkthrough part right now. And it's because at the point of time in which I'm recording this, it is the second to last day to obtain all of these shiny legendary Pokemon gifts via mystery gift. Now, I've gotten 2 of these already, but there are 2 more that I have to obtain, and I wanted to record myself actually getting them. But I've lost track of which ones I've already gotten, so I'll just go in order real quickly. Pretty sure I've already gotten Wo-Chien. I did. Pretty sure I've already gotten Chien-Pao. I did. I don't think I got Ting-Lu. Okay, so Ting-Lu's the one I need. Here you are. It is free of charge. Of course, you do need a Nintendo Switch Online subscription and an internet connection, but otherwise, I mean, the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 are portable systems, so you could just take your game system to a place that has free Wi-Fi and connect real quickly and get these shiny legendary Pokemon. And on that note, these events are nice because in addition to getting a shiny legendary Pokemon, if you don't already have these Pokemon in your Pokedex for 100% completion, or if you want to put them in Pokemon Home for 100% completion, you can just get them right here, otherwise free of charge. So that's nice. And if you don't have a Nintendo Switch Online subscription, I don't know, ask your friend to get you one. It's not too shabby. I mean, the Pokemon Company's giving these out for free for another day or 2 at the time of this recording, and then they are gone. So that is why I am getting them now. But in addition to these Mystery Gift Online connective options, there are a few more Mystery Gifts that are currently available. Namely, these Tera Raid Shards, which are nice. I'll go ahead and get a couple of these because this will save me time to change the Tera type of my Pokemon in the future. And you get like a bunch of these for each of them, right? You get like 50 or 100 even. Let me see. Even so, it's free Tera Shards, which is useful to a player like me who likes to compete. Woo! 100 Tera Shards for 4 different types? Yeah, I'll use them. Probably won't use the Psychic Tera Shard that much. It's not that great of a Tera type, but it's nice to have in case I do need it. Anyway, these are not the only Pokemon events going on at this point in time. Rather, GameStop also had a local event where players could go to their shops and get a code for shiny Koraidon and Miraidon. However, this event was kind of a disaster. See, a lot of people went in and kind of scalped all the codes and are now trying to sell them online for a profit. And the idea was you'd get one of these codes and it would give you the shiny Pokemon that was opposite to whatever game you had. So if you had Pokemon Scarlet, you got shiny Miraidon. If you had Pokemon Violet, you got shiny Koraidon. But all these codes kind of came and went real quickly, and it kind of makes me wonder, why didn't they just do the same thing that they did with the Ruins of Legend event that they've been doing online with Mystery Gift? So I called a bunch of different GameStops in the greater Washington area, and I was not able to get a shiny Pokemon distribution code for myself, but some of my friends in other territories were able to get some, and so I'm able to actually temporarily hold on to them and demonstrate them for the purposes of this walkthrough. But they want them back afterward. So here you are, here's shiny Miraidon. So, since I'm playing Pokemon Scarlet, had I been able to redeem the code for myself, this is the Pokemon that I would have gotten. Unfortunately, I don't have the footage of myself redeeming the code, but at least I can showcase in an official manner what shiny Miraidon looks like. I'm trying to get a picture of it, but you're a little close, buddy. You're a little close. Just a little bit. If I continue like back over here and get a backdrop, that'd be cool. Nope. Nope, you really want to be close to me, huh? Because you have no idea what's going on because I'm not your original trainer. Well, technically, even the person who redeemed your code is not the original trainer, but anyway, this isn't working. Here's what shiny Koraidon looks like. It's cool. Most shiny Pokemon that do have a black skin look pretty awesome, and you can see how the shiny stacks up to the regular. This is the one I would have gotten had I had Pokemon Violet, and had I gotten a code in the first place. But yeah. Pretty cool to see that it's officially available, to some people at least. Now, because it comes from an event, it's going to have some preset data to it, so it's always going to come in a Cherish Ball. I guess it's always going to have this ribbon. Okay, I didn't really know that. But all these event-distributed Pokemon come in Cherish Balls. If a Pokemon comes in a Cherish Ball, it's from an event, because you can't just go and buy a Cherish Ball in-game. So same thing with this Miraidon. Same thing with these Pokemon that I got from the Mystery Gift online. Although, even though the original trainer is Paldea each time, the ID number is different for each of them. That's interesting. Otherwise, that's enough discussion regarding events. Let's go ahead and just do some other stuff. I'm thinking in this part, I'm going to kind of wander around and fill in my Pokedex a bit because that is a secondary goal that I have in this walkthrough is to complete all the Pokedexes. I already did so for Paldea and Kitakami, so I'd like to do so for the Blueberry Academy as well. I'm not going to catch every single Pokemon that I see, but I'm going to try and catch any Pokemon that I haven't obtained previously that should otherwise be somewhat easy to obtain. And this way, I can record more gameplay of myself wandering the Blueberry Academy here in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet on my Nintendo Switch 2 at 60 frames per second! Yes, I like to repurpose my gameplay footage for other clients, so even just having footage of myself wandering around is useful. Oh, I don't need to do a Magmar Tera raid. I'm pretty sure I already have a Magmar, so that Tera raid would be rather redundant. But if there is a Tera raid later on in this walkthrough part that contains a Pokemon I have not yet obtained, let alone a Pokemon that is otherwise difficult to obtain, like a Pokemon that evolves via a trait evolution or some other unnecessary convoluted evolution method, then I will go ahead and showcase myself doing said Tera raid and catching said Pokemon. Anyway, Inkay, I already caught one of you because I recall turning my Nintendo Switch system upside down in handheld mode so I could evolve an Inkay into a Malamar. You otherwise would qualify as a more convoluted evolutionary method, but since it's still just a manner of leveling up a Pokemon, I guess it's not that convoluted. It just means I had to take my Nintendo Switch out of its dock, but it's fine. Those days are over and this Inkay is defeated and I can get some extra experience points for my superior. 2,000 experience points for an Inkay? That's a lot. Might be a decent place to grind for experience points if I wasn't already overpowered. And then also Tentacool, that's interesting. You know, Tentacool, it's kind of a Pokemon you take for granted. Oh, hold that thought. As I take it for granted. There is a cave over here that I otherwise wouldn't normally explore. And oh my god, do you see this? There's a Rotom over here. Yeah, let's go ahead and battle the Rotom real quickly. Now, I already caught you back in Paldea. I remember you, but I'll go ahead and eliminate you real quickly for some extra experience anyway, and we'll see if you get more experience than the Inkay. Oh, considering the fact that you actually survived the hit, I'd be inclined to believe that you would give me a bit of extra experience. Oh, I remember I was so concerned about catching one of you back in Paldea, and now I've got no concerns whatsoever. It's so easy to catch all the Pokemon and so easy just to grind and become so much more powerful. Look at this, 5,000 experience points for you, and then all my secondhand Pokemon got 2,000 plus experience. Oh, not yet, Bayleaf. Not yet. I like you just the way you are, girl. Thank you. Oh, and I suppose I should address the elephant in the room, or the big glowing rainbow pile of sludge in the room. Yes, there is an Alolan Muck in here with a different Tera type. I already have Alolan Muck for my Pokedex. It is an okay Pokemon. It's defensive, Poison Dark is good typing, although this one isn't Poison Dark, it's actually Fire, which I would argue is not better for you. But it is bad for my superior, so I'll go ahead and switch out, and I'll tell you what, this may give my Golurk a prime time to shine. This is a Pokemon that I hardly ever used back in my Pokemon Black 2 and White 2 walkthrough. I rarely used it in competitive, and so far I barely used it here in Scarlet and Violet, but I can go ahead and use it now. Let's go, Goalie! I know it doesn't have a mouth, but it evokes the kind of vibe I get from the Iron Giant. I don't know, I just love this thing. All right, Terrastalize, Stomping Tantrum. This would have been super effective even if you were still a Poison Dark type, so sucks to be you. Let's go, Goalie! Terrastalized, Ground, Stomping Tantrum. Golurk is a heavy-hitting Pokemon, so this should deal a decent chunk of damage. All right, and if it misses, it'll just become even more powerful the next time I use it. There you go, hopefully this is a one-hit KO, or I guess it can't be a one-hit KO, not if you're in this little Tera battle. But because I already have Alolan Muck in my Pokedex, or Muck for that matter, I am not going to catch you. I'm just going to go ahead and repeat the same process. Stomping Tantrum once more. Good job, Golurk! This is a small but notable victory for you, and it provides prime gameplay footage of me using you in this cave in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet on my Nintendo Switch 2 at 60 frames per second, 6,000 experience points, dude! I'm not even really trying to grind all that much. I'm trying not to use Pokemon that are level 100, because believe me, I've got a ton of those. But I guess I can go ahead and get a couple items over here, and while I'm at it, I'll go ahead and send Superior out and just get a couple of extra Tentacool items, because I'll need that to make TMs later on. All right, Tentacool, what was I saying? Oh yeah, it's a Pokemon you typically take for granted. They're so common, in fact, they're rather obnoxious to deal with back in the original Pokemon games, them and Zubats. They were the Zubat of the ocean, so to speak. You begged for repels as you tried to traverse from one route to another, encountering primarily the same Pokemon over and over and over again. And while they weren't necessarily difficult to defeat, you never really considered them to be a useful Pokemon just because they were so abundant. I don't know, you usually just thought that rare Pokemon were the more powerful ones. Something akin to, I don't know, Dratini? Or even to a lesser extent, something like Slowpoke and Slowbro. Or I guess like Ghastly was common and Gengar turned out to be a pretty powerful Pokemon. But you wouldn't really think that something as common as Tentacool would wind up being a useful Pokemon, and it kind of was. Tentacool evolves into Tentacruel, which is very bulky. The only problem was it was Generation 1 and it was a poison type, so it was really weak to Psychic type Pokemon, which were very, very powerful in the original generations. But otherwise, Tentacruel turned out to be somewhat decent. Now, obviously, I'm not using one for my team. I'm catching it for the sake of the Pokedex. Whoa, hang on. Defeat 10 Pokemon in the wild, but I cleared a BBQ, a Blueberry quest. Haven't really focused on those in a while, but I guess I could make that a primary focus of this walkthrough part. Sure. Since I'm going around catching Pokemon anyway, what do you say we go ahead and catch this Tentacruel, and then I can focus on a couple of BBQs. And then just as well, I guess Zubat, well, at the time, Zubat and Golbat were not very good. Poison Flying isn't even like that bad of typing in today's day and age. It's just back in Generation 1, if you were a poison type, it was kind of like a death wish. Kind of weird how there hasn't been a Poison Flying type since Generation 1, or Generation 2, I guess, with Crobat. And Crobat turned out to be pretty good primarily because of its speed. Even though Poison Flying is actually like pretty good defensive typing, you're weak to Electric, Psychic, and Rock, which are fairly common types, but otherwise, like, you resist a lot of other common types like Fighting as well. All this to say, these more abundant Pokemon turned out to be pretty good, and that's why you might take Tentacruel and even Zubat for granted. But I've caught them both now. I'm defeating a bunch of wild Pokemon for the sake of a BBQ, and then one of my D-pad buttons should actually tell me which BBQs I have available, right? And I still love that the acronym for Blueberry Quest is BBQ. It's like, oh yep, I'm gonna invite my friends over for a BBQ, which is something that I will do in a later walkthrough part. And then Finian, I've already caught. My bad. I've lost track of what Pokemon I have and haven't caught because I've been playing this game infrequently, but I will finish this walkthrough in due time. These timed mystery gift events have incentivized me to play this game more actively. Anyway, let's see what we got over here. Boom, thank you. All right, so we'll go ahead and, nope. There we go. So, defeat Pokemon, take a Pokemon flight, and make yourself... Okay, well, I'm probably not going to make a TM, but I can defeat 3 more Pokemon in an auto battle and take a photo of a Pokemon in flight. I can do that. So, boom. There's one. Great. Yeah, so I'll need to do these BBQs to even access certain Pokemon to get them to appear for the sake of my Pokedex. But that'll be a concern for a later video, but I may as well go ahead and get ahead right now. There you go. That BBQ is done. Catch a Fire-type Pokemon. Well, if a Fire-type Pokemon that I have not yet obtained wishes to make itself known, I can go ahead and do that. In fact, you missed it. I just got a Chi-Yu from the mystery gift. Would that have counted? All right, anyway. What do you say we go back up here? Oh, actually, Toucannon's over here. I haven't gotten a Toucannon yet. Let's go for the Toucannon. Toucannon's like another Pokemon that I don't often think about. I like it because it's a toucan. But of the early game, like, regional birds, probably just because I have no real attachment to Sun and Moon, but it's a Pokemon I just often don't even think about. That's not Toucannon. And you're not in flight, so that probably doesn't help me clear the BBQ. Doggone it, Zangoose. I already got one of you. I had enough of you. But if you wish to engage in combat, I'll go ahead and Terrastallize and use my Leaf Storm. All right. Tera boosted Stab Leaf Storm from Superior with a decent special attack stat. You're going down, you wild Zangoose! You'll rue the day you dared approach me at a time when I wasn't even concerned about you. All right, let's go. It's gonna miss. Doggone it. Dude, I swear this move misses more than it hits. Any competitive player would tell you that if a move doesn't have 100% accuracy, it may as well be 50% accuracy. This move missed like 4 times in the previous video. Oh, but you dropping your special defense is going to be your own undoing. There. Tera boosted Stab Leaf Storm from a Pokemon with decent special attack against a Pokemon that dropped its own special defense. There you go. Extra experience for me and my Goodra reached level 76. Awesome. Anyway, Zangoose, you weren't the focus. Toucannon was supposed to be the focus. Now, I was trying to say that I don't really consider... I don't even, like, think about it that much. Oh, hang on, doesn't... Oh, Dragon Scale, hang on, okay. A couple of different things going on. One, here's a Grimer. I got Muck, but I don't think I ever got Grimer, did I? I did not. I can go ahead and quick ball this real quickly. Same type of deal. Alolan Grimer evolves into Alolan Muck. Poison Dark is pretty great defensive typing, and Alolan Muck can be a pain to deal with when it comes to competitive battles, so... Could be useful, especially since every battle here is a double battle, so it could just be a defensive Pokemon that stays on the field and poisons your opponent, but otherwise, it's, like, fine. If you're looking for a defensive Pokemon to put on your team, Alolan Muck is a pretty decent answer, far from the worst. Anyway, I've got Grimer now, got Muck a long time ago, got a Dragon Scale earlier. That's an evolutionary item that you would use to evolve Seadra into Kingdra. Doesn't do much else, kind of interesting that it's just sitting out here in the open. Anything in this cave? Any Rotom? Any glowing Alolan Muck? No. The Zelda Tears of the Kingdom player in me wants to use Ascend on the ceiling there and shoot to the top of the mountain, but that won't be necessary. Although, to be fair, it's a lot easier to climb mountains in this game than Tears of the Kingdom, so I've got that going for me, I guess. And hey, the 60 frames per second update for this game was free! Had to get the Switch 2 edition of the other game in order to get 60 frames per second for that. Although for that, it was free for me too because I'm a Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack member, so whatever. Anyway, I already battled you, so no need to battle you any further. I'm looking for Toucannon. What happened to that? I already got Smeargle. No Toucannon here, huh? Well, I'm not too interested in doing a picnic just to get one to spawn either. I suppose I could work my way up, start with its base form and get like a Pikipek or something, and then get a Toucannon after. Ooh, Solar Blade. That's like a physical version of the move Solar Beam. It's a grass type move that takes a turn to charge, and then afterward it does a ton of damage, but if you have Sun effect, it doesn't take a turn to charge. So, that much is nice, but it's not really a move I plan to use. Alright, we'll start with you. Pikipek, let's go! Yeah, of the early bird Pokemon, the bird Pokemon that you get at the beginning of games, Pikipek is probably the most forgettable to me, excluding Scarlet and Violet's, which is, like, debatable as to which one it actually is, but people think it's Kilowattrel. In which case, yeah, I guess Kilowattrel is a little more forgettable to me, but that's just because it's newer. I don't have much attachment to Generation 7 Pokemon outside of Pokemon with Alolan forms. That's primarily because of the Generation 1 Pokemon that have received a form upgrade, and they usually look pretty cool. But the Generation 7 Pokemon, I don't know. They don't really do it much for me. And Toucannon, you know what? I think I primarily forget Toucannon just because Ash did not have one in the anime. Because up to that point, Ash had every early game bird Pokemon, and then he got to Generation 7 and was like, nah, I'm good with Rowlet. Which, to be fair, I do like Rowlet. I mean, I don't have one on my team, let alone Decidueye. But if I were to choose a favorite Generation 7 Pokemon, it would be Rowlet. Even though Litten becomes Incineroar, and it's debatably one of the best competitive Pokemon to ever exist, and I'm so sick and tired of fighting him, and that's why I had to start bringing my Lotic to battles with me all the time, because it was a hard count at Incineroar. But anyway, I like Rowlet. Don't care much for Toucannon. Often found it forgettable. I'm trying to find Pikipek's evolution here. What's it called? Trumbeak? See, that's how forgettable it is. I mean, there's over 1,000 Pokemon, and I've got a million things going on in my life. I'm forgetting Pokemon names, but I used to be so fluent with this stuff. I'm pretty sure it's called Trumbeak, and I just can't find it. I just saw them earlier. Oh, see, this is a mistake on my end. I should have caught it while I had the chance. You don't know what you've got until it's gone, or you don't know what you don't have until it's gone, I suppose. I didn't catch one, and now it's gone. And this is the region where you would get them. Heck, even Toucannon was supposed to spawn. I blame that abandoned Toucannon. If that Toucannon just spawned, I would have gotten it. Oh, nope, I don't need Tentacruel. I already got one of those. Let's see. Oh, nope, it's more Pikipek. More Pikipek. Yeah, lots of normal type Pokemon over here. Yeah, Toucannon, not one I care much about. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say that the early bird Pokemon that they care the least about is going to be Noctowl, which breaks my heart a little bit because Noctowl is the one that I actually like the most. And I think prior to it getting a Mega, Pidgeot might have actually been a contender for the worst. Well, I don't know. Noctowl might have always been the worst because even in Generation 2 when it made its debut, they didn't have the physical special split yet. And Noctowl learned a bunch of special moves, but because it was normal and flying type, no normal and flying type moves were special yet. Nowadays, I mean, I used it in Sword and Shield competitively a little bit and had some fun results with it. I didn't keep using it, but oh, here we go. Here's a Trumbeak, finally. But no, I like Noctowl. It's just, you put it up against Pidgeot, which got a Mega. Swellow and Staraptor actually are decently viable. Oh, you know what? Unfezant's not that good. Unfezant is very, very mid. It doesn't stand out anyway, but that's kind of the problem with a lot of Generation 5 Pokemon. A lot of Generation 5 Pokemon have such random stat distribution that the ones that are optimized are just so much better than everything else. Generation 6 has Talonflame, which was really good for a while, but then it kind of fell off. And then you get Toucannon. It's not great in competitive play. And even in single player, it's a little hard to use. I mean, if you're over leveled, then it's fine. The main issue with Toucannon is that it's slow. It hits like a truck if you can get the hit off, but it's otherwise just like a normal flying type Pokemon, so it's not even slow and bulky. It's just another bird, but it does have the signature move, Beak Blast. You know what? All right, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna catch this Trumbeak. I'll evolve it manually into a Toucannon. All right, Inkay, nope, don't need that. All right, I'm gonna catch this Trumbeak here. I'll evolve either this Trumbeak or the other one into a Toucannon. It'll probably ask if it wants to learn Beak Blast upon level up, and then I can go ahead and put it in my PC box forever and not have to worry about it. That's the main reason to use Toucannon, is to use Beak Blast. All right, Toucannon has 120 base attack power and a signature move that deals a ton of damage. So if you can pull it off, yeah, Toucannon will hit like a truck. But otherwise, it just doesn't have much going for it. I'm sorry, Toucannon. The novelty of you is that you're a toucan. Even Ash didn't use you in the anime. He was good with Rowlet, but I think because he didn't use you in the anime, I just kind of forgot that you existed. And then Generation 8, you got Corviknight, and Corviknight is fantastic. But again, it's not a Pokemon. Oh, sucks that you used a physical move on me. Sorry, I'm capitalizing on that. I just wanted an excuse to use Goodra, because Goodra here has Flamethrower. All right, cool. Great, and because I already caught one of you earlier, I can actually use a repeat ball on you, so I'll go ahead and do exactly that. That's not a repeat ball, that's a repeat ball. Thank you. Left-handed throw. Boom, critical capture. Thank you. All right, additional Trumbeak obtained with a different Tera type than usual. Extra experience points, not enough to cause anything to level up, but everything is so otherwise frustratingly close to leveling up. Whatever, and I got some extra LP for that. Great. All right, let's move around. All right. Yeah, my boxes could use some cleanup. My box one was fairly empty, but then now that it's full, both of these Trumbeak are now over here. So I'll move you over here for a second. We'll add you to my party for a brief moment. Hang tight, all creamy. I'll be right back. And then let's give you 1 or 2 experience candies. I think L will do the trick. I just gotta remember how to navigate these menus. As I stated earlier, I've been so infrequent with this game. I'm almost maxed out on EXP candies. I'm trying not to be that overpowered. I am sorry. Go get them. Cool. Yes, you are more than qualified to level up and evolve now, and now this Trumbeak will become a Toucannon! I spent all this time talking about Toucannon, so it stands to reason that I should get Toucannon's Pokedex entry in this very walkthrough part. Again, not a Pokemon that I intend to use on my team, ever, but it's a Toucan. Toucan's pretty great. If you want a heavy hitter, I guess you can use this, but I believe there are plenty of other readily accessible, easier options. All right, and then we'll get rid of, well, you're a physical attacker, right? So you really don't need Hyper Voice. I mean, you'll get Stab, same type attack bonus off the fact that you're a normal type Pokemon and that's a normal type move, but otherwise, I mean, I shouldn't care, because you're not going to stay on my team. I evolved you purely for the Pokedex entry. Now I'm going to go ahead and move you back over here. Thank you. All right, so we got that whole evolutionary line taken care of. So let's see, I got Grimer, Tentacool, Tentacruel, and the Toucannon line. Great. All right, making myself some progress. I'll probably catch like 1 or 2 more Pokemon. I'd probably even like to do a Tera Raid battle or 2. Ooh, here we go, Savannah Biome. Well, this is where I needed to go anyway, right? So surely there are a Pokemon or 2 or 3 over here that I can easily obtain that I have not yet obtained previously. But I'll go ahead and do a battle with you real quickly. What's up? And dude, there's just casually a Rabsca in the background. That was such an obnoxious Pokemon for me to get back in Paldea, and now they just wander in the... Well, are you using it? I'm sorry. I genuinely thought you were holding a Cherish Ball for a second. It's just a Pokeball. I've got Cherish Balls on the mind because of the beginning of this walkthrough part. Anyway, Rabsca just randomly in the wild. I guess there are a bunch of Bug-type Pokemon over here because this guy's using both a Scyther and a Scizor. I'll Flare Blitz the Scizor because that'll be a one-hit KO, and if the Scyther wants to take out Superior, then so be it. Here we go. Oh wow, you actually get that hit a lot better than I anticipated. Okay, and boom. I guess to be fair, it wasn't same type attack bonus for my Superior, and I didn't have a special attack boost yet. And the Scyther could be holding an Eviolite. Some people do that, because Scyther can evolve into Scizor, but Scyther was previously a fully evolved Pokemon. Putting an Eviolite on it actually gives it somewhat decent bulk. Although Scizor is actually decently bulky as well, so like, I don't know. Even so, I think we double down on you. Oh, actually, I shouldn't even need to double down on you, but I'll entertain it. I don't want to die to recoil damage. I'll use Crunch. Let's see what happens. All right, so here's the knockoff. Were you holding Eviolite? You were not. My Superior is just not that strong, I guess. Oh, drop your defense. You're still alive. You might actually take out one of my Pokemon here. You went for Arcanine and you took it out. All right, that's on me. That's on me. I could have played this a lot better. I should have just gone for Flare Blitz, whatever. All right, shall we wrap this up with Golurk then? I gave you some time to shine earlier. I am not opposed to doing it again. There you go, my Gen 5 Unnovan Pokemon. One's from Pokemon Black and White, the other one's from Pokemon Black 2 and White 2. Let's get it. All right, punch it. All right, so unless knockoff kills it first. It did. Sorry, Golurk. Thanks for standing on the field for a couple seconds, though. I do appreciate it. I like your vibe. Your Iron Giant vibe, even though you're a Ghost Ground type. Although I could change your Tera type to be Steel just to better match with that, but nah, it's not necessary. Just thanks for hanging out on my team, I guess. Oh, Bayleaf, my girl. It is not yet time for you to evolve. Not yet. Not yet. I like you just the way you are. Anyway, I imagine I've already caught all the other Pokemon around here. Yeah, and... Oh, actually, I had that one BBQ that was like, take a picture of a flying Pokemon, right? So what do you say I just go ahead and do that right now? Oh no, Tauros. Goodbye, Tauros. Let's see. You were right here! You did not all move away that quickly. You're telling me there's not one single flying rufflet around me? Okay, hang on. Well, there's that one in the distance. Oh, there's a Braviary. Hi. Did that count? Oh, now I gotta do it. There you are! I was looking for you! You're telling me you were standing right in front of me the entire time? Nuh-uh. I'm out of here. I'm done with that. I don't think that counted, though. Let's go again. This time I know where you are. If you disappear again, that's not fair. There you go. There. Got that. All right. Extra BP. Okay, and then it's gonna have me engage in combat with you. No, I don't need you. I know you were in the base game because Braviary has a Hisuian form, and any Pokemon that got a Hisuian form or some sort of evolution in Legend Arceus was available in the base game of Scarlet and Violet. All right, so we're skipping on that. 12 more Psychic Shards, huh? I'm glad. Oh, hey, I never got you, huh? I'm glad the Tera Shards are abundant here, but it's giving me a bunch of Tera Shards I don't really think I'm going to use. All right, let's revive my Arcanine, and then I will go ahead and engage in combat with this Pokemon in front of me. Not the Tauros, but the Zebra here. Okay? Folks, this is a Blitzle. Remember when I was talking about how there are plenty of better Pokemon with a somewhat decent attack stat? Well, Blitzle, well, more so its evolution, Zebstrika, is an example of that. It's not too stand-out-ish of a Pokemon. It's a physically attacking electric-type Pokemon that was available in Unova, and while it was probably better for in-game teams, I don't think it had much of a competitive history. But at least this thing's fast, right? It can hit hard and hit quickly, and I'm gonna try to use knockoff on you. You're not holding an item, so this shouldn't kill you. Whoops. Oh, you're not exactly known for your bulk. Just your attack and your speed, which is why I would sooner recommend Blitzle and Zebstrika over Toucannon. And speaking of Zebstrika, all right, we'll work backwards. We'll start with you. Your stats are gonna be better than a Blitzle, so hopefully you can take some damage. So I'll use knockoff on you real quickly, and if this just instantly KOs you, then I'll figure something else out. Okay, we should be good. Discharge, special attack, so that won't deal too much to me. It could paralyze me, but I got a crit. That's how much it did with a crit, by the way. Let's try the Luxury Ball. It is a black Pokeball for a black electric Pokemon. Nope, all right. Well, I suppose one flaw of Zebstrika is that its move pool is limited. Watch what happens if I do this. All right, if I switch into a Ghost Ground type, it can't hit me with electric or normal moves, which is, I'm fairly certain, the bulk of its moveset. So it just can't do anything to a Golurk. Or a Rune Regus if you have one of those. There you go. All right. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just use another Luxury Ball. I'm not going to use all my Luxury Balls on you. I just thought it'd be fitting for you. If I got to use an Ultra Ball, I guess that's fitting as well because it's still a black Pokemon. No, you stayed in the Luxury Ball. Good job. Thank you, Zebstrika. All right. I have an easier time catching you than your pre-evolution, which is not the first time I've said something like that, I'm pretty sure. But Zebstrika, yep. Fast, powerful, electric-type Pokemon originally from Unova. You want a decent hitter that happens to be electric-type? Actually a pretty good pick. I would probably recommend Electros more, but Zebstrika, it's okay. All right. Now, we gotta have a rematch with this Blitzle here. All right, Blitzle. I'm just gonna go for the quick ball on you. All right, it's not gonna be a matching Pokeball, but I'm just ready to be done with this and move on, okay? So, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. I still get a little nervous when it's not a critical capture because I'm so used to these things being critical captures that when it's not, I just kind of start instantly thinking, oh, I guess it's not gonna catch it. Forgetting that, no, it can still shake 3 times and catch it. But there you go. Now we got Blitzle and Zebstrika. That's more progress! Huzzah! Moving right along then. All right, so we got the Blitzle, we got the Zebstrika, I got the Tauros, I got the whole like Flygon Vibrava line a long time ago, I'm pretty sure. Yep, Trapinch and Flygon. Oh, okay. You want to battle me? Flygon, I love you, buddy. I do, but you're not on my team. You're also not gonna be on my team. But you do serve as a good opportunity for my Superior to use its Dragon Pulse on something that's super effective. Sandstorm, really? You're gonna do that? All right. It's gonna deal some chip damage to me, but we'll go ahead and Dragon Pulse it once more. There you go. Extra experience. Goodbye, Flygon. Sorry, buddy. Design-wise, I've always loved Flygon. And Dragon Ground typing is pretty cool. Oh, Tauros. Well, Tauros, you were the OG OU Pokemon back in Generation 1. A heavy hitter, to be certain. Something to counter those pesky, powerful Psychic-type Pokemon, too. But bulky, defensive, you were not. Allow me to demonstrate a fatal flaw in your design and show you why you're no longer the OG OU anymore. You do have a new form in this game. multiple in fact, but I don't actually know how they rank competitively. But there you go. Goodbye, Tauros. Always had a soft spot for Tauros, but I use Miltank competitively, not Tauros. Oh, thanks, Tauros. And now we move. Oh, I could defeat the Chansey for some extra experience, but I think we'll get a move on. Let's see what this Tera Raid battle entails, and it could very well be the first Tera Raid battle that I do in this video. Sorry, I was looking at the creator. There's a trap pinch in it. That's kind of cute. Let's see what we got. Ooh, Porygon-Z! Well, that's especially useful. Now, technically, I already have Porygon-Z in my Scarlet and Violet Pokedex, but I have not caught a Porygon-Z in this game, and this would be the most optimal and prime time to do so. So, let's go ahead and get out my Tera Raid Battle Pokemon. This here, Iron Hands, that I've nicknamed Raid Battler. It's a very simple strategy. You use Belly Drum to maximize your attack. You take a hit because you're Iron Hands and you have huge bulk, and then you just go to town using either Heavy Slam, a fighting move, or an electric move of your choice. So, it's a normal Porygon-Z, fine by me. It means it'll hit a little harder, but it shouldn't be too difficult of a Tera Raid. Unfortunately for myself, this Tera Raid is filling up. Yes, because people see the importance of a Pokemon that's available in a Tera Raid that is normally only accessible through trade evolution. Plus, I missed out on that big Porygon 2, Porygon-Z event that took place earlier this year. So this is kind of me making up for that. Otherwise, I would have had quite the abundance of Porygon-Z had I participated in that. But alas, I did not participate in it. So I'm doing this now instead, and I can help some other players get a Porygon-Z in the same process. Now, competitively, Porygon-Z is okay, but most players would prefer its pre-evolution Porygon 2, primarily because it is bulky. But Porygon-Z can hit pretty hard, especially since its ability is Adaptability, allowing it to hit even harder, and it's Tera Normal. So if this thing used Tri-Attack or Hyper Beam, it could one-hit KO a lot of Pokemon here. But it's quite the investment for a Porygon-Z to have, and if you were running a Porygon-Z competitively, you're probably not going to use it as your Tera Pokemon. I mean, I guess you could with Adaptability, and then you're probably not going to use Hyper Beam. I don't know. But I respect the fact that other people are bringing the Iron Hands here, and that one guy's bringing Koraidon. How much you want to bet that the Koraidon that player is bringing is the shiny Koraidon that's available through that distribution, and that guy's just trying to show off? Even so, it's a good Pokemon to bring here because it's a fighting type. All right, let's see what we've got, folks. Woohoo! There you are. Yep, it's the shiny Koraidon. Oh, and someone had a shiny Iron Hands. Well, nice. There you go. I'm in between the shinies. Okay, well, I think we all know how to do this, and I can appreciate that. I'm just glad that I was able to fill up this Tera Raid. Like, it helps me, and I get to help other players, and I'm just glad that this game is still active. Love that. All right, are we all going to Belly Drum? Oh, Psybeam. That'll be super effective, but nah, I'm fine. Oh, now it's a critical hit. So that's how much it did with the critical hit, then I'm definitely fine. All right, yep, we're Belly Drumming. We're Belly Drumming. Yep, Belly Drumming. Great, Belly Drumming, and you're going straight for the attack, Koraidon. I can kind of respect that. It's the one from the event, so it's already ready to go. Decent damage. Okay, now once we all smack this thing with presumably Drain Punch will be good, but I'm going to go ahead and heal us up just in case. Yeah, you're going for close combat. Woo! That's why Iron Hands is the Pokemon to use. Belly Drum, and then that other guy used close combat. Crushed it. Good job. Well, I'm glad that this Tera Raid is done. Now I can go ahead and catch myself a Tera Porygon-Z. I love this little rounded bird with a virus in it. It's like a sippy duck that got corrupted, but I love this silly looking thing. Thank you, Orhan, Lincoln, and Minato. All right, folks, it's catching time. Now is the time in which I get to catch this Porygon-Z in whatever Pokeball I so desire, and I think the ball that would be the most fitting for it is the Heal Ball. I mean, Porygon-Z is pink and the Heal Ball is pink, and while the Heal Ball has this big old beige pattern on it that Porygon-Z does not have, it does have blue on it as well, which is what Porygon-Z's primary color is, pink and blue, so I think it's the most fitting ball. And fortunately, because this is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, it's a guaranteed catch. That is an improvement over raid battles back in Sword and Shield. You could participate in someone else's raid, do that whole spiel, and then it wasn't even guaranteed to stay in the ball unless you were the host. So that much is nice. And there you go. Wild Porygon-Z caught to make up for the fact that I didn't participate in that big Porygon-Z raid battle event earlier this year. Hooray! However, it will not count as a new Pokemon registered for my Pokedex because I already have my own Porygon-Z, a shiny one, in fact, that I've been using since the Pokemon Y days and have been competing with it even in Sword and Shield. And because I transferred it over to this game, it's already been marked in my Pokedex. But for the sake of walkthrough completion, here is a wild Porygon-Z. We can even check its stats. There you go. Normal Tera type is probably one of the best Tera types for it. and it has the ability adaptability, which is great. But my shiny Porygon-Z is the only Porygon-Z that I think I'll need, and the main reason I haven't been using it more in this walkthrough is because it's already level 100, so it would already overpower anything. But to go ahead and demonstrate the potential of a powerful Porygon-Z, I'll keep it in my party for a couple seconds. Come with me, you shiny duck with a virus. All right, now I need some sense of direction. So I did not open the map. I need to do that. All right, we're gonna, oh, hang on. That is one of my gripes with the map system in this game. We're gonna head toward the BB League Elite Four member. Well, actually, I mean, we're still gonna do that, but I'm gonna head toward the Scyther swarm over here so I can slay a bunch of Scyther. And I'll keep Porygon-Z out in the interim. Oh, and I cleared another BBQ. Okay, a lot of stuff's going on. But I like that. It means I'm being optimal, showcasing a lot of different stuff in this kind of random part of my walkthrough. All right, my next BBQ was to fight a terastallized Pokemon. I can do that. Easy peasy. Technically, the BBQ is already cleared for simply engaging in combat with it, but I would also like to demonstrate the true power of my Porygon-Z from one normal-type Pokemon to another. A special attacker toward a physical attacker. The old OG powerful normal-type Pokemon toward a more modern powerful normal-type Pokemon. I wouldn't call it the most powerful. Porygon-Z is not in that threshold, but Porygon-Z is plenty powerful. Boom. And Tauros, while you are powerful with your physical attack, you are not known for being a bulky Pokemon, so I shall capitalize on that. Boom. Good job, Porygon-Z! Yes, if you want a powerful, normal-type Pokemon who is a special attacker, I strongly recommend you get yourself a Porygon-Z. And if you want a defensive, normal-type Pokemon, I mean, you've got a variety of options, but you can always go for Porygon too. Anyway, Porygon-Z, you have demonstrated your power, and I appreciate it. Thank you. We'll go ahead and put Serperior back here, because Serperior is all the way back from Pokemon White, and he's not level 100 yet. So I'd like to go ahead and level him up a bit more. And plus, as I've said several times over the course of this walkthrough, just wandering around with a level 100 Pokemon, I mean, in some regards it's fun, but it's not all that practical, and it's not all that valuable for those of you watching this walkthrough, and for those of you that might want to get some advice and feedback. Let's see. Electabuzz, I shall pass for now, especially if it's a bug Electabuzz. It's not even a Pokemon I intend to use, but one, I don't need to do an Electabuzz raid right now. I've got no doubt that I can get an extra Electabuzz if need be. And two, for it to be a bug, that's, I mean, okay. Tera bug on Electabuzz isn't so bad because Electabuzz is only weak to ground and bug resists ground, but I don't know. I feel like there are better Tera types for Electabuzz. Anyway, let's go ahead and do a double battle against you, Imani the student. I'm ready. Exeggutor and Dodrio, representing the first generation of Pokemon I see. Well, I'm half doing that. Well, Exeggutor is actually quite useful in a double battle, primarily due to its bulk and typing. So, I'm actually going to go ahead and capitalize and double down on taking down the Exeggutor in this double battle first, and we'll let the Dodrio wreak havoc if need be. But I know that the Exeggutor is going to take at least 2 hits to go down, see? And then with my Arcanine's Flare Blitz, that should finish the job. Goodbye, Exeggutor! Well, it's somewhat of a shame that we won't be able to see what strategy you were brewing, but as long as I can fly through this fight without any sort of issue, I guess that's the better outcome, right? Now, the Dodrio is probably going to take down the Serperior. Oh, no, Sunny Day. Oh, you're probably trying to activate your Exeggutor's ability, which I guess is another demonstration of why it might be good in a double battle. But I'm better off for things having played out this way. So we'll double down on you, and because you use Sunny Day, my Arcanine's Flare Blitz will be even more powerful, so it should be surefire, pun partially intended, to take you down. Goodbye, Dodrio. Cool. Well, that'll do it then. Thank you. Thank you. Extra experience. Serperior level 81. Awesome. You know, in like 2 or 3 parts time, all of my Pokemon could easily reach level 100 just by me fighting all the wild Pokemon here. That's without me using experience candies. Leveling up is much too easy here. I mean, I get it. They made all the wild Pokemon like level 70, level 80, whatever. But it means that just by grinding against them like I'm doing now, I could get to level 100 and not have an issue. Oh, whoa, what? Hi there, Yoshiller. It's me, Cyrano. It seems like you're really digging into those BBQs. I'm going to see to it that you start receiving advanced quests. Really? It's just out of nowhere. I guess I was focusing more on BBQs in this part, so okay. I can now do more BBQs, take a photo of a wild Pokemon that is swimming. I'm gonna probably not prioritize that one. Arcanine, I need you to take out this Venomoth here, buddy. Eyeballing us. Thank you. Thank you for fetching the other items. I appreciate it, but I need you to take out the big moth that's staring me down. I got 12 ground tier shards. Awesome. Okay, yeah. Another sign of progress. Gaining access to more BBQs, more advanced BBQs, which will net me more rewards that I can just do passively while I tackle other tasks here in this walkthrough. Great. But yeah, leveling up my Pokemon is very, very simple, and I'm trying not to be too overpowered because I've got plenty of level 100 Pokemon. And that's just because I've competed over the years, and you need level 100 Pokemon to utilize Bottle Caps, a special item that changes a Pokemon's IVs. In any case, I've got a bunch of level 100 Pokemon, so I'm trying to prioritize using the ones that aren't level 100, but I feel like if I just kept doing this for like another hour or two, because the Pokemon here are already level 70, level 80, whatever, my Pokemon would easily reach level 100. And there's no way that they're going to make a boss character have level 100 Pokemon because they want you to gain experience off of it. I mean, maybe. Maybe they are level 100. Even so, I would have no issue reaching level 100 for all my Pokemon just by letting them run amok, fighting these wild Pokemon here for like another hour or two. So go ahead and take down a few more Scyther, Arcanine. Thanks for getting the Fighting Tera Shard. That's neat. Scyther Claws, awesome. Let's see, we got a bunch of... What is this Pokemon right here? Oh, that's a Deerling? Oh, I guess I'm just not used to seeing it sleep. Okay. Otherwise, as far as catching additional wild Pokemon in this part is concerned, I might be done with that. I mean, I might do like 1 or 2 more raids if one presents itself to me that contains a difficult to obtain Pokemon. Yeah, because I've already kind of otherwise gotten everything here. Okay. Rhydon, you want to do this? If we're going to do this, I'm not going to use Arcanine. All right, I'm going to use my ace. Let's go, bae. You'll barely deal any damage to it, but she shall deal a ton of damage to you. You'll regret the day you decided to charge head-on into me without a backup plan. That Earthquake, that'll do like nothing because grass resists ground, and Bayleaf is known for her bulk, especially since she's holding an Eviolite. And I'll go ahead and take that back, thank you. Delicious! The defeat of my enemy is always so flavorful. Goodbye, Rhydon. Sorry, buddy, I was willing to spare you and pass by, but you chose to come toward me, and now you shall suffer the consequences. Never underestimate the power of a competitive player who's trying to desperately use a Pokemon he really likes. Not yet, Bayleaf. Not yet. All right, let's continue on then. Go ahead and pick up a few extra items. Yep. Cool, because I think there was a BBQ just for picking up a bunch of random items, unless I cleared it already. I don't know. I'm not going to check. I'll let the rest of them play out passively in this video, but I will continue to pick up random items anyway. Oh, and a Blissey. Defeating you passively should net me a ton of experience. Check that out. Oh. See? Boom. 1691 experience for passively defeating a Blissey. Now, the whole Blissey line, or the Chansey line rather, historically always yielded a bunch of experience points for being defeated. That was kind of the point of farming them back in the day. And they're just wandering around here, and all I had to do was press the R button, defeat it passively, and I got 1600 experience for it. I could easily get to level 100 with all my Pokemon if I just found a couple more of them. Anyway, let's see what we got here. Porygon-2? Oh man, I'll have the whole Porygon line once I'm done with this one. Sure, I'll let anyone join. And this is actually a fitting way for me to probably wrap up this part. So, the strategy remains the same as the Porygon-Z one, even though it is Fairy type due to its Tera type, but that's even better, because my Iron Hands here has Steel type moves, so I still have a super effective move that I can use on this thing. But yes, by defeating this Porygon-2, I'll have access to one. I won't have to trade a Porygon to evolve one into Porygon-2. I'll have the whole Porygon line registered in my Pokedex, and this too shall make up for the fact that I missed out on the Porygon-2, and Porygon-Z event earlier this year. So it's like I didn't miss anything and I was able to get footage of everything after all. And there are players still joining me in a rather efficient manner as well. I had a feeling the popularity of this game might have dipped off a bit outside of competitive players, but I guess it's still fairly active if players are joining these raids, especially ones for a Pokemon like this quickly. So that's nice. I'm glad that there still remains a fair amount of activity within this game, and I'm glad that I'm still able to somewhat capitalize on it. And I'm glad that I'm able to help these other players get a Porygon too, because I know that you have to trade a Porygon to get one historically, unless you participated in that Porygon 2 event earlier this year where Porygon 2 were just roaming the wild, but I did not get to do that, and I imagine a fair share of other players were not able to capitalize on that as well. So I'm glad that in addition to being able to play in an active time and get myself a Porygon 2 for Pokedex completion and make things more efficient by doing it in a Tera Raid battle, I'm glad that I'm able to help these other players get their own Porygon 2 in case they need them for Pokedex completion or just competitive. People still be using Porygon 2 in competitive battles to this day, so I'm happy to be of assistance. I'm happy I can get my own Porygon 2. I'm happy that I can help other players. All right, I was just stalling, trying to make sure that the fourth player is ready. You took less time than that other player in that Porygon-Z raid, and I'm grateful for that. In any case, this game might still be active, but that doesn't necessarily mean that all the players within it are optimal, so to speak. But that's okay. With my Iron Hand strategy, I could potentially solo this raid if I wanted to, but when it comes to Pokemon, I consider myself to be fairly charitable, so I shall help these 3 other players get a Porygon 2 of their own. Alright? In any case, I just gotta wait for the game to not lag because it loves to slow down here. And I will say that the Fairy Tera type for you does make for nice lighting in this Tera battle because you're a pink Pokemon and pink is the color associated with the Fairy type. So we got a nice pink cave for this pink Pokemon. It's nice, I do admit. All right, and then download your boosting your physical attack, which does nothing for you because you're a special attacker. All right, so the strategy remains the same, if I can get to it. Ah, yes. Just because this game remains somewhat active doesn't necessarily mean that the players that are participating are entirely knowledgeable. Just as well, I'm still able to be of assistance here, because I saw that Lucario was using Force Palm, which you're using a move that would have otherwise been super effective toward a regular Porygon-2, and I guess you could be going for Paralysis, but one, Force Palm isn't that strong of a move, and two, it's Tera type as Fairy, so it's going to resist it anyway. But I'll take care of things. We'll go ahead and heal up. This should revert my confusion as well. I should no longer be confused. All right, you guys are dealing chip damage to it. It looks like this Tinkaton and I are going to be the ones doing the heavy hitting. My teammate here, Juga, was smart to bring a Tinkaton. I imagine you're going to go for Gigaton Hammer in him. Oh, yep. Let's see how much that does. Woo-wee! That's what I'm talking about. Porygon-2. Yeah, honestly, the Porygon-2 raid could technically be harder than the Porygon-Z raid, just because Porygon-2 is a much bulkier Pokemon and Porygon-Z is more so the equivalent of a glass cannon. Therefore, raids are usually tougher if a Pokemon can take hits more than they can deal hits, because then you're racing against the clock. But fortunately, this Tinkaton and I will be the ones doing the heavy hitting and basically negating this thing's bulk. Oh, thanks for the attack boost. Because I used Belly Drum, I'm already maxed out on attack. Doesn't do a whole lot because you have the shield up, but I imagine one more attack from the Tinkaton and then one more attack from me ought to do the trick. Yeah, you can't use Gigaton Hammer twice in a row, no worries, okay. Well, thanks for the attack boost still. I could really go for a heal up, but I guess you're probably just trying to boost your own attack stat. There we go. Shield is down. Yeah, defensive Pokemon are usually the ones that present more difficult Tera raids than the more offensive Pokemon. So Porygon-2's Tera raid battle is actually harder than Porygon-Z's Tera raid battle, but the Iron Hand strategy is still valid. There we go. We have done it. Thank you, Rubeki, Juga, and Ultomu. That's the Japanese player with the Azumarill who somehow got frozen, probably due to the Tri-Attack. That sucks. Of all the things, so Tri-Attack has a 30% chance to inflict a status condition, and then from there, it randomly gave you frozen. That sucks. But hey, we still did the raid. You can still get yourself a Porygon-2. I'm catching mine and a heal ball. I'd recommend you do the same, but you can use whatever ball you want. Guaranteed catch, because this isn't Pokemon Sword and Shield. And unlike Porygon-Z, this Porygon-2 will go ahead and add a new Pokedex entry to my Pokedex. And also, it's giving me Muscle Feathers, which boosts your physical attack stat. Porygon-2 is not a physical attacker, so that's very amusing that that's what I got. Maybe it's because of its download ability, boosting its physical attack. Even so, very glad that I got a Porygon-2 in this part. Now I have the whole Porygon line registered in my Pokedex. Don't have to worry about that anymore. I caught them all individually. Porygon, Porygon-2, and Porygon-Z. And I think that Porygon-2 Tera Raid battle is a good place to end things. I think the last thing for me to do is to actually go to my destination so I can have things set up for the next part of this walkthrough. So I'm already going the wrong way because that's about to bring me to the next biome. I need to go... Bye-bye! I need to go more southward. All right, there you go. To the red mark! All right. Let's keep it moving. I don't need to catch any more Pokemon. I don't even need to battle any more Pokemon. We're just going to go to the destination, and then I'll go ahead and do my outro. But cool. The Porygon-Z raid was just a nice bonus, but the fact that I got a Porygon-2 raid in this video as well, at 60 frames per second, no less! Oh, I love it. I love it. All right, no more battling. All right, we'll save all that for the next part. Folks, I know that this was another random walkthrough part where I kind of just wandered around and caught random Pokemon, but for the sake of this walkthrough, I need to do more parts like that because I want to complete the Pokedex here in the Blueberry Academy. So, by knocking out a few Pokemon catches along the way, it allows for me to make things a bit more optimal. That's been kind of the key word of this video, hasn't it? In any case, folks, that wraps up this video of my Pokemon Scarlet and Violet walkthrough, and I'd like to thank you all for watching. I hope to see you on future... Hey! Hey! Flygon! I was in the middle of doing my outro! Alright, well, unfortunately for you, my Arcanine has play rough, and that should be a one-hit KO. Alright, Flygon, I love you, buddy, but you're not a member of my team, and you can't be interrupting my outros even if you were. Only Bayleaf has that privilege. Okay, yes, I know I'm not technically in the actual, like, Elite Four battle area, but I want to end things here, and I'll see what those Pokeballs in the background are all about afterward. Folks, thank you for once again joining me for yet another aimless walkthrough part. I'll continue on with the plot in the next part, and then I'll probably power through the plot for the rest of this walkthrough, and then I'll save all the Pokedex completion stuff for the end, kind of like I did during the main game. For now... Are you kidding me? And so, we've reached the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please click on the like button or leave a comment. Either of those actions would really help me out. If you wish to see more of my gameplay content, please click the subscribe button so that you can be notified each time I post a new video. And if you click on the bell icon, you can customize how often you receive notifications. Thank you so much for watching my video all the way to the end, and I hope to see you around in the future. Bye-bye, humans! Whoosh!